plumbing.
Yeah, but then you're really digging out. So it's- Yeah.
But you got somebody that says you're private.
Yeah.
Same old?
It's just like literally.
This is like water portion.
And I'm like, oh
Oh, I don't know. I went on one of them.
Yeah. So, we leave on a Thursday and come back like real late. Also,
I went with.
Right off.
More people I want to be sitting on Earl's lap.
Chair here.
No.
Yeah, yeah, go sit there.
No thanks, but I wasn't around for that.
we don't take to that. So,
Yeah.
No, we actually swapped it up. We're doing this. We're gonna do this instead of the Sears Power. It's a Tilt 360. So they strap you in, pull on the handles. You're on the 96.4 and they tilt you and over the city until you're in 380.
Oh,
And then,
I don't know if I would have done that. I
the
went.
other one, we're boarding a ship and going up the river. And they talk about the architecture and
Oh,
stuff.
that would have been.
So,
So we did. Switch it out.
So, it's in one.
we took out that museum. It's kind of cool.
Full cover track.
Not real active.
It was like,
Some of them.
actually, they didn't want us there.
I had to, I bought 4 new groups of these
And then,
and one is
what
full.
else? Oh, and then Sears Tower was swapped out.
Right.
2 of those new ones just took off just,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
and another one just isn't kind of lollygagging.
Yeah, we're doing the bike thing, but then
And Queen,
I'm not doing the bike thing because
you know, so you've got
we have
to, it's just tied up.
3 6th graders that don't know.
Oh, not real active.
Not real
They
active.
act like the queen.
Yeah.
Kids every year.
You know, and then the swarm, it's, of course, it's got a car, they've got to put in on that home. So the queen's got to start laying eggs, but then it's 28 days before any of those hatch.
But like I said,
And so it's gonna be
Yeah.
slowly
they try to
going.
buy shit.
And then we've had so much rain, this rain washes the nectar and the pollen out of the flowers.
Oh, yeah.
So they, when you have a lot of rain, your bees can start.
Oh, start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that slows them down. So then you
So
gotta
it's next 9 or 10 days of sunshine should be good.
be great, be great, yeah.
And don't worry, I'm gonna have to say my wife like every freaking flower out there.
He doesn't.
I'd sure like to find somebody to volunteer to keep my pollinator beds going.
Send him a hormone drip up today.
I spend about $250 a year on seed
Well, I know it's.
just for flowers for the bees.
Really? Yep.
It's pretty hard to make any money.
I might-
Especially when I give it away.
Yeah, I was making sure. I tried to distribute, I found the road like one section of the yard there on the south side. It's all green.
Yeah.
They go, so up this time of year. I like to look part of the
So
place.
he's like.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
Call this meeting in order. I'd like to welcome everybody for coming tonight. First thing tonight's the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh.
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Next thing tonight is a public hearing to amend chapter 69 of the Code of Ordinance by amending restriction on parking.
Motion to open public hearing to amend chapter 69.
That's just.
Don,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Jake.
Yes.
Is Gayla on, Tammy? Okay.
Where are we parking or what do we do?
This is the one, ordinance that we're having Gayla retweet based on people parking in their yards and
Oh,
how we would like it to be a firm foundation. The only thing that we've kind of talked through was maybe we need to add, some sort of tractor or implement in with that listing, because we do have some people in town that do have equipment like that on there. And then we also need to discuss if you're gonna set a fee to it, how much you, for a fine.
There, yeah, but there's 3 people in town that have got implements as a lawn ornament. So are we?
Yeah.
How do we handle that?
If they're going to do that, they should apply for a permit to have it from the city.
Okay,
So I know a lot of other communities do that.
Yeah.
Or we put an exception in it.
and then it's acceptable. Good idea. I didn't,
Identified
as a lawn ornament.
what?
Identified as a lawn ornament.
We could, if we gotta change the ordinance, we could, at 165-23 is exceptions to all those.
Yeah,
I was saying we had exceptions or like you said, a permit or what have you, and you're asking to add tractors to the definition of vehicles that's prohibited, that sort of thing, or.
Yeah, I mean, if it's
or
like,
farm implements or.
Right,
Tractor for
right.
construction equipment.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, he's up above it defines different things. I
right,
was just looking at a term vehicle.
I was just the suggestions we had received.
Public comments tonight?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make some comments related to parking, but maybe not this particular time.
No, we're only discussing this.
Not on this particular issue, thank you.
That'd be a bad.
No other comments on this tonight?
Motion closing.
Second.
Ross,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer, yes, Earl,
yes,
Don,
yes,
Approve the first reading of chapter 69 of the Code of Ordinance amending restrictions on parking.
do we want to wait on that?
Do we need to wait?
Either wait, or you can, in your motion, state to add these pieces if you'd like to add them, and then what the fine not to exceed number is, needs to be in your motion, if you're going to accept the first reading. And then you still have a second and third, you should.
Well, we need to talk about the fine then. So
So can we table it and start off the next meeting with approving the first reading? Or do we have to do another public hearing?
You'll have to do another public hearing if you table the first.
I don't really want to table it, but I do think there's a couple things you can get cleared up there, so we're not just on the seat of our pants tonight flying around, so.
It seems like these motions should have been made before now.
Yeah.
But. I mean, I don't know if Kato's here, she could clarify that.
Right.
Can we make the motion to add those now? I mean, is there ever issue with that or?
You can make the motion to, if you want, to add the construction equipment, and or lawn equipment, or have a permit for any kind of exception. But like I said, you still need to find.
Exceptions, can they be listed out, or do you actually, somebody gonna have to go get a permit?
That's however you want to make the
Well,
motion.
I would think
Because
that they
she-
would have to call for like an inspection. So like, for example, you'd have to drive by. Is it a vehicle that is like currently in use? Does it run? Does it, I mean?
Right.
What if a permit is something where they have to pay, and I guess I don't.
How about have
Okay.
Jeff just do like an inspection, just.
Yeah, you don't have to
Just in
assign-
charge of, like mowing and stuff.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to assign a fee for the permit, but you could ask them to get an exception from the code enforcement.
Yeah, I don't have a
officer,
problem with giving an
DPW.
exception, I just,
Yeah.
somebody having to get an actual permit and pay a fee and.
Right.
Do we need guidelines to what's acceptable, like, fluids drained on a pad? I mean, there's a little more to it than it.
Sounds like we need to delay it and talk about it.
If it's an actual vehicle that they're using as a lawn ornament, it seems like there should be something in place that it needs to, I mean, either prove that the liquids, oils, fuels have been drained. If not, then it needs to be on like a concrete pad or something like that, so that it's not going into the water table.
Yeah. It could be simple as, just like putting a pool in, you
Right.
get the permit that says that you're allowed to have that in your yard. Who says Jeff doesn't, we don't have a new code enforcer down the road? They question and that person would have that permit on file or on hand to show.
Yeah, I just think for Jeff's sake, a little guidance on what is he approving?
Right.
What's the guidelines on if this happens, inspection, if it does not pass? Otherwise it's gonna be unclear and subject to litigation.
Sure. We can always table in the next meeting at a different public hearing.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Zach?
Things are going good at the police department. We've got the old car that we're getting rid of. We've got it stripped down. We have the title for the new car. They sent that. We mailed all the, radar, radio, things that we were using over. They're in the process of putting those in, so cross my fingers, next time I talk to you, we've got the new squad car. Should be at least by the end of the month, for sure, I would think. That's all I got.
Thank you. Jeff?
On the fire side, nothing new really to report. We've been inspecting some of our fireworks equipment, getting ready for the 4th of July. All that's getting ready to go. On the code side, sent several warning citations and citations out this week about yards, need mowed, trash being picked up, tree limb below the legal limit, hanging over sidewalks. So been trying to be friendly and courteous about, you need to trim your trees up so they're not below 8 foot. Get your yard mowed. We got a couple of vendors that haven't touched their yard yet, and they got pretty hefty citations.
Do we send out more letters and or citations because of lawn problems opposed to derelict vehicles?
I've been waiting on this ordinance or really tie into the derelict vehicles, but I have put out a handful of door knockers on people's doors about moving their cars off the right of ways.
That's my number one complaint. Derelict vehicles, more so than lawns.
On that, we're good.
Jen, are you in?
No, I don't know.
Somebody on to talk to Mutual Center? No, no report tonight. Okay. Jen from Main Street.
So we had our downtown cleanup end of May. That was really well attended. We had probably over 20 people show up. Got a lot of stuff cleaned up in the downtown, so that was nice. Really positive comments coming back, like it didn't feel like work. It was a lot of fun. So we're actually gonna schedule a second one in July to work on some of the alleys, which will kind of help tie in with when the sidewalk project happens so that people have a nicer entrance in the back of the buildings if they need to use it. So that was kind of the thought behind working on the alleys for our next one. I wanted to give an update on the Bloom and Bucks program. So we've had just over $8,000 of certificates bought with 4,600 of those reimbursed. We had just 1,000 bought the other day, so like the program's doing really well. We still have several out there that aren't expired and just haven't been turned in yet, but that's a really decent amount since the beginning of December to put back into the businesses here in Bloomfield. So we're pretty excited about that. Farmers Market opening day was at the end of May as well. We had 18 farmers market vendors and we ended up with 325 tickets for purchases in our giveaway. So that was good. We know that at least 325 people went through the farmers market and purchased things. We don't have a good way of tracking how many people it brings to the downtown, but it was busy, so it's good.
Good. Thank you. ACDC, Don, Ted, consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Jake, Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer, yes, Don,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes,
Approve second reading of resolution 2024-26, approving the zoning change of parcel 01001511 from industrial M2 to residential R1 based on the reasoning that this will greatly improve the neighborhood and surrounding residential areas.
Motion to approve the second reading of resolution 2024-26.
second. Earl,
yes,
Jennifer, yes, Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
move to waive the third reading, please.
Have we received any communication from anybody regarding this
No.
change? Okay.
No, they're not. Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes,
Don,
Yes,
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Discuss and decide on installing sewer service at 19302 Highway 63 NJ Century Scapes.
You don't like outhouses?
Like that?
You don't like outhouses?
So this is out there, obviously out there to the north edge of town. Megan's obviously building a new place out there and, going great big with that. Look, everything's looking really good, but to get sewer, she's choosing to come to our sewer system, which our nearest manhole is over in front of, the cell barn out there. So she's gonna have to bring her service over to us and there'll have to be she'll have to have a grinder pump to do that. We visited with them before on it, so I think they understand what's happening, basically following the formality. They have to approach the council to ask to be hooked to our city sewer. They're outside the city limits at that location. So she'll be required to pay for it. There'll have to be a meter installed on the effluent side, which is something we've not done before. So that's unfortunately going to be a little bit pricey, but all the cost will fall on her.
So she has to pay from her building to that manhole.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And
How far of a distance is that?
1,200 feet.
1,200 feet.
Yeah. About the only the main stipulations for us is just verifying that our downspouts and the whole I&I situation with our sewer plant, making sure the downspouts and floor drains aren't connected in to the sewer system. But other than that, Jeremy, have I missed anything? Jeremy knows.
No, we'll have to have her install I believe you was wanting 2 inch, is that right?
It happened to be fine.
Okay, the price I got for it that one time was a 2 inch flow meter. It is a 2 inch main, so it's not gonna be a big deal. It's the force main is just like the gas main that Todd does work on, so I've got electric fusion and stuff for the saddle. So
So we're putting a meter on the sewer
yeah,
and not on the affluent side of the water.
you have to put it on the back side of the pump after it discharges.
Okay.
And that catches all the water that runs through that pump, and that's what, I'm assuming we'll have Lisa out there every month or whoever's reading meters, and they will write that number down, and that's how you'll be billed. So just, I guess just let me know, depending on what they decide, get with me, and then we can, talk about the next step after this meeting.
move to approve.
Second.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Earl,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Just a last minute, I guess, thing on that. Did you guys talk to, because I have not talked to the county sanitarium since you're in the county. I mean, us being the city, our only rule states that if you're within 200 foot, you have to come to us. Are we still allowed to take?
No, he could probably vouch for that because, he put a septic system in. So it's, the same rule applies for the people that want to hook up to the city can,
Okay, that was my kicker.
but the
we just
council
discussing.
agreed to let him put a septic system in. So it'd be the same thing, but an
Make sure
office.
you didn't need any other approval.
That's all. We were just,
think I was over this. You was.
well, we just wanted to make sure, I guess,
Within the
pending
city limits.
pending that
Set up.
you're allowed to come to us, that the county wouldn't say you have to do a septic system. Or if the DNR gets involved with that.
I guess I wouldn't understand why they would say we would have to, because obviously you're dumping water on
I'm
the
just-
ground.
I just want-
Same thing to a
I just
wastewater treatment plant,
I just want to make sure we covered the bases, didn't miss something that we needed to check on.
So I can answer a little bit of that. They put that 200 foot rule in there in case somebody is in the county so they can force them. But the DNR would really appreciate if everybody would come to the collection system because they're a better treated system than putting it out to the ditch. So I can't see them having a problem with,
And you can look, as it is right now, we have gutters on the building.
Okay,
So you can see that the gutters are going to daylight.
okay.
We are going to put them into a pipe that goes out to the north side, to the north side of the hill.
Gotcha.
Eventually, we're gonna try to capture that and put it back to a pond so that we can refeed the water back to the plants.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss something and then come back and have to redo it all. Slow you guys down, didn't want to hold you up.
and it might not be a bad idea to have them be like, yes, you can come to the city. I don't know if you need to, but that's just a liability check off of your back, so you don't spend all this money coming to me and they're like, no, we're not gonna let you use it. I've seen that done before. But it was a septic system and I've seen them put it in and then they come in and says, no, we're not gonna let you do that. You have to do this. And it was all wrong.
So you're talking about going and asking the supervisors?
I'm just saying, I don't know what the proper formality would be
We could have.
for them, for the county or the DNR. I mean, I can call the DNR for you, but I just think it'd be better if you guys approach our field office 6, I give you a phone number, or just to get a check off for yourself, that they're going to be like, yeah, come on to the city. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see you guys spend all that money and they're like,
Right.
I agree with that. I just don't know how the DNR would have, the power to tell you can't go to the city sewer. I guess I don't see how they would have the power for
Jeremy,
that.
you make a call for them,
yeah, absolutely.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, I do.
Jeremy will call them, explain what's going on there, and I'm sure they're gonna say, we don't care, we'd rather you hook into the city. And so,
Seems like being affected the opposite of that.
so Jeremy, you can maybe share contact info there and he'll take care of it.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeremy. Discuss and decide on implementation of an airport hangar lease.
All right, I'll cover that one. It's, the airport commission got together our last meeting and they have a business who wants to build a hangar, lease the land from the city. What we're asking for is not so much for permission to have a hangar built, but there's two things. Is we would like permission to have Gala, this perimeter manufacturing hangar lease is just an example that we found. We would like permission to have Gala take this and make it into our lease agreement. We're thinking somewhere along the lines like a 25-year lease with the option of extending it on like 10-year increments after that. If there's any sale during this time, the sale would obviously have to be approved by the council. And the person or the entity purchasing that hangar rights would have to then apply and be approved also for the lease agreement, because not that necessarily they're taking over payments, but they're getting a new lease on the same property. But the land will still belong to the city. The hangar will not go anywhere. So essentially, we're getting like a free hangar, yeah, kind of. But so the second thing is or the first thing is, can we have people take this job and make this into a lease that we can have presented to council? And then second is, does anybody have an issue with this idea? It's actually, if you think about it, and it's not in our packet, but I do have a picture. I didn't have time to make copies of where the hangar, the proposal is going to be built. This other thing is a possible driveway into the hangar. We're probably going to propose that. But if you guys want, you take a look at where it's going to be built. That's kind of what we're at. We use for permission, and if there's any issues you guys have, voices, let us know so that can be addressed in this process.
I'm neither here nor there on it. But I did question the city, like more details about this. And I made a phone call to another airport and they made the comment that a 25-year lease is very, very rare. That's a really long lease.
Yeah.
And I was assuming like Vermeer is a big enough company that it's a 25-year is a long time. And they made the comment, most leases are 10 to 15 years, and some of them are even 5-year leases, but to me, 5 years would be crazy. But a 25-year lease that's a long
Yeah, I'm not
time.
sure where the number 25 came from. I know that the company that's wanting to build that, Vermeer is not the company that's building this.
Yeah,
It's just,
but I'm
but,
assuming that the sheer
Right.
size of Vermeer prompted a 25-year lease.
correct. And as, but from what I understand, and I'm not privy to the conversations, this was kind of an insurance thing on their side, that they want to go long-term, that we're not going to kick them out after 10 years.
Yeah,
So that's why
I
the
understand that.
longer, so that 25 is not a set time. It's just an example that they asked me to tell you tonight, that we're looking at that, and then the option to extend it on like 5 or 10-year increments after whatever we decide that first lease is done.
Even
That you gave us.
even if you did the 25, if we had to approve any leasing, that would take care of like your issue. I mean, if it changed hands, it's gotta be approved. So I guess I don't.
I'm
10 or
not saying that I
25.
have an issue.
No,
They
I'm
just
saying
said
10 or
25
25.
was virtually unheard of.
I agree, that's,
It's a long time, but it doesn't really.
It doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. I just
Right.
thought I would throw
and
it
it
out
might
there.
be a 15-year lease person. I mean, that's just the number they asked me to come tonight to. So if there's nobody who has an issue with it, I'll voice that at our next meeting. And if we can get permission, or if we need a motion to have
I
Gayla,
think you should make a motion to let Gayla start working on it.
I'll make that motion then to have Gayla work on this lease agreement for the airport commission.
Jennifer? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Approve Class C retail alcohol license for Madison Street Entertainment LLC, otherwise known as Slugs.
All mine's gonna be
The shady group. Motion to approve.
We'll see if Earl truly.
Second. Earl's had a change of thoughts.
Jennifer? Yes. Josh? Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Now we know the answer. We know the answer.
Thank you, council. Approve Class B retail alcohol license for Jay's One Stop.
Motion to approve.
Earl?
No.
Don?
Yes.
Jake? Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes.
Approve retail permit for cigarette, tobacco, nicotine vapor for Casey's.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
No.
Jennifer? Yes. Josh?
Yes.
Approve retail permit for cigarette, tobacco, nicotine vapor for Dollar General.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Earl?
Nope.
Josh?
Yes.
Approve retail permit for cigarette, tobacco, nicotine vapor for Jay's One Stop.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Earl?
No.
Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Approve retail permit for cigarette, tobacco, nicotine vapor for Bloomfield BP.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Earl?
No.
Jennifer? Yes.
Approve retail permit for cigarette, tobacco, nicotine vapor for Family Dollar.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Earl?
No.
Don?
Yes. Follow up on sewer plant mower / rip wrap discussion.
So like we talked about last time, we did some checking, Jeremy and I and Trent had some conversations on it. We did end up talking with, we had to make sure we got our engineers involved and make sure what was going on there so that we had all of our ducks in a row. It wasn't, initially I just went out for a rip wrap bid, struggled to get any bids, finally got one from Brad Johnson. We was gonna need him to haul it for us anywhere, someone, to haul it for us. And that came back considerably low, which we was hoping for, but we talked to DNR, so, they highly recommended we talk to the DNR, get them involved, make sure we're by the book. Their recommendation was we can definitely rip wrap. It's not a big deal. They recommended, erosion stone, 3 to 6 inch stuff. gets a good compaction, keeps the critters from burrowing. They did recommend, he said, you don't have to put matting down under it, but we highly recommend it. So we included that, the cost of that. I did meet with a contractor there to take a look at it specifically, and he said that you really should peel back the topsoil before you put your matting down, just make it hold better. And
Is that something that we can do?
We could, but we can't reach the whole way. So I think it would be better. So I mean, I just put the plan to just have somebody with the tracker who could do it considerably faster than we could and reach the whole thing. To peel that grass, get that vegetation, the existing vegetation out of there, mat it, rock it, and be done with it. So right now with to have it all done, like I said, I had one contractor contract just hauling us the riprap, and that's all their company does. Another one offered the riprap, and then he also offered to do all the work. And the money it came into is about $73,000 to do it all one time, to be a one and done thing, and we'd never have to mess with it. So we did visit with, I mean, Jeremy and I did talk about it. So that's kind of where I stand with it. It's a huge safety factor for us in my eyes, that we take those guys away from that lagoon, the big ditch on the south side. They don't have to, we're not putting them in harm's way. If we go to the mower, then you're still putting a guy on it, and he's still taking that risk. And I don't ever want to see somebody get in that lagoon. Last year, I know DNR mentioned to me on the phone that they themselves had somebody working for them last year and rolled a mower on a bank like in the same situation, and it killed a person last year working for them. So just something to keep in mind, and that's.
So is this like the only, would we go out for a formal bid? Is this just kind of like we're checking around, or this is the only bid we're getting?
This was just because of the time frame. I wanted to have a number in place. So
It's a considerably low bid.
well,
That was just
the first one was 26,000, but it was just for haul the riprap to us.
Not
So-
to install it.
And that wasn't to install it or anything else. That was to us. And then after discussion with Jeremy, we have some equipment, but some of it's 25 foot or a little farther down over the bank, and our equipment wouldn't reach it. And so we'd be in the same situation, putting equipment in a bad way, trying to lay that rock down. So if we would just get a track hoe in here that's got the reach, and that way could make it a lot faster job. So yeah, there is some of it that we could do ourselves.
Who was the firm with 73,000?
The 73 was Leffler Dirt Works. And then also I did mention that all the black dirt that we peel up, we can pile at the sewer plant right there where our dirt pile is now, and we would have the option to sell that, and there would be between 40 and 50 loads of black dirt that we have the option to sell to help pay off, and could generate $2,000 to $3,000 back selling black dirt if we chose to.
We have this potential expenditure in the budget, just,
Next year,
yes.
you could use the money that you've set aside for equipment if you'd like. Yeah.
That 170.
Or, I mean, we are gonna get enough back from the SRF funds that I had asked for us to use, get feedback for the sidewalks. So there's probably 200 grand that we won't spend that we thought we would on the sidewalks.
I need to know, what would the city rather see there?
I don't know, that's your decision.
It just seems like.
We don't get the authority to spend $75,000 to do it, Russ. Or 30 at this point, or 35, I can't remember. What the amount was.
If we go forward with this, the riprap, I talked to, Vita, Brent White, because he used to run a sprayer, and the liability of that creek being there.
On the south side.
Yeah, I think it would be wise for the city to have that contracted out to a vehicle that's got a boom on it to spray it. Because, if you go and one of us goes down and sprays it, it's got the right license and kill all the fish in the creek, and then you're in trouble. So
That would be a
So
very
if-
wise thing to do, yeah.
I know Dawn and I have been talking about it, and we had $35,000 for a mower. I never brought the riprap to your guys' attention just because I didn't think that you would, that was a high price, going into it. So like they said, it's your vehicle. You know, I've been maintaining it for almost 20 years, what it is now, but
Do you see an issue with maintaining it with mower?
I mean, I don't, but just because of the mower that I would like to see the city get, there's 8 wheels on the ground, versus just 2 wheels on the ground. And this machine is rated and designed to do that kind of work, but
And how much is that mower?
35,000.
I don't know, why would you spend 35,000? We can do it and never touch it again. You know,
Right.
the mower's gonna wear out. He's gonna be back here in 9 or 10 years wanting a new mower, I'd say, probably, but.
And the liability of that on somebody if there was an accident.
And you
They-
make sure
they-
that,
they-
I'll make
work
sure
with
that we have
Scott
like a
doing it.
contractor or somebody, if that's what we're gonna do moving forward, I'd like to have somebody come in that knows a lot more about spraying in the waterway situation, because, you know, if you spray into that, it kills
Makes sense.
fish and everything, and it's probably gonna cost us a lot more than the riprap job. That's just,
If we go with the riprap, does the current equipment that we have, that meet our needs for a few more years? I say a few more years because if that equipment that we're gonna use was bought used and it's 20 years old, we're gonna have to replace it sooner or later, no matter whether we riprap or not.
Oh, he has a different mower that he mows the other areas with. He has a zero turn that he can mow the rest of.
You would have to purchase the 35,000.
The non-riprap area.
The non-riprap area.
$7,000.
Got it. Okay.
I'm thinking these two are wondering, can I spray that or not?
We might trade some black dirt for some spraying service.
Look at them just lined up.
Yeah, I'm like the mayor. I'd rather see us spend 73,000 or whatever than one time.
So
And
the 73,000, that would cut
That's
Johnson's out of it. They're gonna haul it in,
They're gonna haul it.
they'll do everything.
That's
You're just hiring one contractor. to
That's
get
a
it.
turnkey operation.
Okay.
And on Jeremy's behalf, I've been around 10 years, and they have done a good job with it down there, but that's, to me, looking at it on the city side, it is a safety thing, you know, trying to look at keeping those guys. And even if we didn't want to riprap it, I would lean towards a remote control mower to take those guys off of the mower, just to keep them out of this, just because of the safety factor.
Motion to approve the riprap.
So does it have to go out to officially for bid? I didn't hear what you said.
So-
Not if it comes in under 75,000, but we could, go out and get additional bids or quotes to bring back to you and
is he gonna honor that price? I mean, is that a bid from him?
Yeah, essentially, it's on my phone as a bid,
Okay.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah, I believe he-
it is, right?
Yeah.
But technically, we don't have to go out like for bid till it's 100,000.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, you can accept that, or we can try to go back and get 2 or 3 to bring back to council. Either way, I wouldn't do it till after July.
I want to second Josh's motion and let's just get this thing going
Yeah,
and get it done.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Approve updates of parks labor job descriptions.
In your packet, there should be a Parks and Labor position that we needed to tweak when we eliminated the Parks and Rec director and just, made a Parks lead. We're now we have it advertised and currently accepting applications so that we'll have 2 people in each. But, we do need a approved job description.
Motion to approve
I-
the description that's.
I have a question, Jake, before we do that, please.
Sure.
Under essential job functions, item number 6, you've drawn a line to, damages reported to the rec director. What would go in there? Park lead instead of rec director?
Yeah, that's down below.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And
And
then
and who is the park lead?
Robbie Davis.
Yeah, my motion is to accept the change. Second.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Approved purchase of transformers from automated controls not to exceed 15,800.
Yeah, this is, these are transformers that we need to, we're gonna be replacing at the senior center. They're on South Street, East South Street. And they're old ones. We had, a year and a half ago, we had a burnout in the winter time and we was down for a little while, so we got them going and, you know, we put new ones in and this is what it's gonna take to do it.
Move to approve.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Discuss vacation request for undeveloped road adjacent to parcel 01002688.
And so this is, a piece of a road that we have not developed out around Hickory Hollow subdivision. And Kevin and Mike are here to discuss as well. There is a piece of it right now. It does go to a dead end and there is a parcel back there that potentially would be sold if we vacated that piece of the road to that new buyer of that parcel. The only, question that Gayla and I had when we had a discussion was the city doesn't typically vacate roads themselves in case of future development. However, it still need to be brought up to you guys to decide, is that in fact something that you want to do versus vacating a portion of a parcel that is adjacent to the other parcel. So, Kevin came tonight to kind of discuss what their opinions were,
Where is this at again?
why they're looking at it.
I printed it off on vehicle.
So that tiny little lot.
Yeah.
We can't seem to get it sold. And that road goes right back there and it just dead ends into these other two lots. And I was just wanting to, I think Dad gave that to the city to put the road in. And, just make that lot bigger so I can get everything sold.
Yeah.
It's just not hardly big enough to do my house.
Yeah.
This all, that was a story. And that's my driver's house there. And it just dead ends back there. They can't go in there. So I just kind of wanted to take that iron cross, make that long a little bigger.
What's that road used for now?
It's the entryway to Mike's house. So the road would just end at my driveway. But the city's responsibility. That's the way. Yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Mike. Are you the one wanting to purchase this land? So why would we vacate the road if you're the one that's gonna purchase it? Because you're just kind of controllers.
Yeah, I would like to see, I'd like to see somebody build a house.
Where is this at?
And Kevin did too. I mean, we're kind of tired of seeing lots being sold, so we can own them and not. Okay. This road.
Okay.
Where was the road?
So it's right here. And whose residence is this?
Oh.
So, where Patsy did.
Oh, Dave Elder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just kind of make that cul-de-sac.
What map was it? I looked it up. There's another one. Yeah,
That's somebody else. I didn't know.
yeah,
And the,
but they haven't got approval to build it.
so then, so this portion then would go.
I just-
To make that lot bigger,
Okay.
somebody could build on it.
Okay.
It's 0.4 acres. I don't know what my God. But it's his first subdivision, so.
Well, I know the original plotting on that was hoping that someday what's south of that would be accessible and you could come in from that direction rather than have to build something that goes across this ditch to the south. I know that's what originally in the 90s when we did all this. And, but I'm not seeing that. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but you know, what's south of that would be turned into development, but it hasn't happened yet, so.
Yeah, 3 different owners.
Who owns the parcel ending in the digits 051? all time was in it.
Does he use that, is that an easement for him onto his property or does he have another access?
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah, he's got
originally
another access.
hoped, but this would be developed.
Yeah, so this, that's unit is.
Okay, so he accesses this way.
Yeah, now, sometimes he'll drive through there. It just makes it rough and rather than low, because it's not street, it's grass. And since mom passed away, she never tried to sell the dang lots. She didn't want to sell, but maybe one a year. She wouldn't list them. Well, my sisters and I don't want to be in the development business, so we've gotten rid of all of them, but the last one. And we just can't seem to get it sold.
Is that but up to Paul's land, Paul's Idols?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a couple times and asked about if that road was ever gonna become, a road or what he had kind of asked about his possibility of building a shop back there. Not a house, but a shop.
So two things. One thing we don't want to happen with Tybals is code enforcement issues with equipment. But the one that ends in 5-1 is owned by Tim Meyer and Pam Gotchke. That big parcel. So I don't know if that's mapped out for a subdivision. Like I said, the only discussion I had with Gala was just that it hasn't been common practice to vacate the road versus a parcel. But that ultimately was your guys' decision.
Those two long lots that run along east to west, who owns those? I don't see them.
Stufflebeam.
What's that?
Jim Stufflebeam owns the other one.
All Paul owns the north one
Yeah.
and Jim's the south one?
Yeah.
This
Well-
one and this one. so-
They'll never let you go across them.
This road. That's just this section right here. Okay.
As long as they haven't.
Right.
What would Mike's house say about his lodge?
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, if you built a shop. Oh.
These two are on my different.
Yeah, they are. And then there's this,
This is,
like, round here.
I'm done with that.
There's like these two strips and you're like from west.
I don't have any conversation.
Yeah. So is he in city limits?
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and vacate that.
You know, has Tyler's property in city limits or?
Yeah.
It is, he is.
He has a lot of junk vehicles on his property.
Jeff's been and some back there already.
He did once.
Oh.
He cleaned it up once, kind of nice.
He got it all out there by the tractor in Winnebago. Now it's all had babies and there's more of them.
Did he got a letter of citation or something a year or so ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
He should know better.
And there's some back along the fence. on
I have
the
no
back side of
sympathy
that
for a
property.
situation like that.
And another one.
Send another one. Yeah.
Did I hear?
Like yesterday.
I had the.
Second.
I think the motion
So,
needs to say begin process, because we'll have to have. a public hearing.
right. I was gonna say, and
I'll amend my motion and make it, I make a motion to start the process to have a public hearing.
Oh, okay.
Vacate the road and flip.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Josh.
I would also appreciate it if you would bring that individual that owns that field. If you could ask him if he has any concerns or somebody reach out to him. Even if he uses that every once in a while, that's gonna play a big part in my decision. So, yes.
Approve invoice INV 90127 for IMWCA in the amount of $18,970 for workers' compensation premium for 2024-2025.
So move.
Second. Earl,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Discuss ordinance 165.10 courthouse square retail / residential occupancy.
Okay, so I would just like approval to talk with Gala about possibly amending 16510 or see if there's other cities that have different wording in theirs. I kind of explained this before, but right now, if you're around the courthouse square, the first, not to exceed 50% of the first floor square footage cannot be used for residential, but sometimes people are living in the back half of a building on the square. The other topic is, should that really be the historic preservation Main Street district area instead of just the square itself? Maybe we want to do the one block off like it is. But we kind of talked through how some of the buildings are longer and you could live in the back half and nobody knows that you're living back there. And then some of them are smaller and you can see it when you're walking on the sidewalks. So obviously we want all of our storefronts to be commercial. So I talked with Gala and I'm just asking for your permission to talk through this to see if we need to change anything. And if we do, obviously we bring it back to council and set a public hearing.
Motion to approve, Gala, working with you on this.
I'll second it.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Yes.
Approve invoice 2913900 to Deer Credit Union Incorporated in the amount of $31,949.12 for fiscal year 25 equipment payment.
So this is our annual payment for the equipment we purchased a couple years back. And we are under goal, so I would like to pay it this year.
I'll make a motion to approve that item.
second. Jennifer,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes. Do you know approximately how much we have left on that?
One piece of equipment, the trailer's paid off, the other two have 2 years.
Thank you.
Discuss and decide on not to exceed the amount of 15,000 payable to Norse Asphalt for East Street repairs.
So we, Tommy Joe and I talked and got with the street guys. We're, as everybody knows, East Street there from the bridge to the highway on the south end of it is horrific. And it's a daily struggle to keep it maintained, that it's not so rough it shakes your teeth out. So anyway, we.
Now, where is this, Rusty?
From East Street down, just past the sewer plant to the highway going
Oh,
south.
yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
It's rough. So we contacted Norse Asphalt and asked them to give us a bid on coming in and just milling it from, it's got that old asphalt on the road. That's something, so we've got the part that's gravel, we can kind of maintain and keep it so it's not so rough, but that part we can't. So we asked them to come in and mill it from the highway to the bridge. They're just gonna open the gates, they'll mill it and blow it right back on the road, and we can maintain it there, basically make it a nice gravel road. It was, our last estimate on it was almost $1 million to make it cement from the bridge to the highway, so we opted out on that. So anyway, that was, their estimate was a little over 12,000. They thought they could do that here pretty soon. Get in and just mill that road down and make it a good gravel road, something we could actually maintain.
Move to approve.
Second.
Don,
Yes.
Josh, Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Public comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have some comments I'd like to make with an ongoing discussion about Main Street, Chamber of Commerce, City Council over the years, always complaining and crying about lack of parking on the square for the merchants and their customers. So my request is the City Council restore the 7 parking places on the north side of Jefferson Street, immediately east of Washington Street. These were vacated a year or two ago for some whim. And along with that, the Iowa DOT, when they redid Washington Street a couple of years ago, they magnanimously put in not just 1, but 2 curb cutouts to go to that business right there. So there's no, so they have access to that, to their property from Washington Street. And that property has a large parking area in front of it. According to the Beacon, it's 3,145 square feet. And I would suggest that the space between the sidewalk and their building could probably be with, getting 12 parking places. Perhaps the city of Bloomfield could, assist
and accomplishing that task to make it called parking places by doing the measuring and lining and striping for a fee, materials and time to do it, you know. A possibility of reaching that goal, providing parking for them, but also restoring parking on the street for we, the citizens of Bloomfield, who might want to park there and go to the American Legion Hall when there's some event going on there, like the Saturday night fish fries they have. We might want to go to Slicks for supper. We can put the park a car. Might want to go to the Iowa Theater, watch a movie, or go see the 8th grade kids draw a play, something like that. So 7 parking places are critical. There's a limited number of parking places available in the historic district. Bloomfield, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get your name, please?
Stephen Tees.
Any other public comments tonight? Okay. Joe?
I don't have anything tonight.
Rusty?
Nothing really, just everybody's getting ready for summer. We did work with the fairgrounds and Jeff a little bit this last couple of weeks. I got the radio this weekend, so they're making improvements there and getting a plan for some more improvements before the fair comes in a month.
Thank you.
School's up and going good. Robbie's been very busy down there. Jeremy and they've been running their camera quite a bit, and getting a lot of their sewers videoed, keeping up with that. Everybody's just been keeping busy. Good weather's coming, and we got plenty to do.
I didn't ask when we were talking about it, but when is the deadline to submit applications for the parks? When are we expecting to decide this?
June 14th, at
Okay.
4 o'clock is the deadline, then we'll start interviews right after that.
Okay,
Friday.
all right. Thank you, Rusty.
And we did get, the guys have got 2, this week alone, I've got 2 loads of emulsion put down, so I guess on the council's part, if you know of specific places that really need something, let us know, and we'll try to add them to the list of options.
Thank you. Yeah, Tammy. Okay. Council updates?
I just want to make a comment about the bioswales, is that what they're called?
Bioretention
Office. Bioretention cells. After a hard rain, that mulch floats out of there. When they put that mulch down, they should have covered it with rock or something to hold the mulch in place, because it's going to be a constant battle, even with plants in there, I think. When we get a rain, that mulch is just going to go out the southwest corner. It's going to be a constant
I
battle.
agree
So
100%.
is that the only one?
We have to take that up with the SRF people and the engineers.
Are the others experiencing the same thing, Rusty, or just that one because of the slope?
That one because of the slope.
It takes a lot of water when we get it.
When we do the west side, though, it's gonna have one at both ends of the block, and then there'll be one at the west end of the north side when it's all said and done too, so I expect we'll see the same.
There is a mulch now that has a glue with it. When you wet it, it supposedly glues and holds it in place, but I don't know how well it works.
Yeah.
But that's
That
gonna
one,
be a constant
I believe
battle.
that one will be the worst, Don, just because of the ball on that side of the square. I don't
Lot
think
of
the
water.
other 2 will be as bad, but that's not something we get to make a call on. That's,
Okay,
I think with the funding of the SRF and that stuff, they get to tell us what we do in that.
I have a question about that, though. If I see that up, like sometimes it goes down by the drain. I would assume we don't want that going down the drain. Try to
Concerned
keep it,
about
okay.
it. I'll bring Paul.
And we just sweep it and put it back in the,
I do it like on Saturday if I was there for farmer's market and I see that. it's-
we just sweep it out and put it back in the retention cell.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'll just put that.
I'll contact the engineer on that side, Don, and see what our options are.
Let's do that.
If nothing else, maybe we could put a couple, 3 inches of rock under it. If they just want to have mulch on top, beside the plants, maybe rock this or something.
Just got a question also, I remember when it was 2, 3 meetings ago, we had a bid to do the road in the cemetery. We declined it, trying to get more bids. Where are we at on?
So we haven't went back out to bid because the cemetery board was trying to spend that money before July 1st.
Right.
But then it was becoming too much of a rush and they couldn't get a contractor in
Okay.
to do that. So that'll be after July as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So the cemetery board's gonna discuss whether or not they would in fact want to continue to try to do that. Or put back in the columbarium that they were not gonna do this year to do the road.
Okay. for discussion.
Waiting to hear.
We haven't had a meeting, so that's why I didn't know.
Yeah, waiting to hear what they're gonna do.
Any other capital updates? I do not have any comments.
To adjourn.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.